Hello guys, today's video is about activity recognition transition API. So it looks really long, right? So in simple terms, it's a user activity recognition API. So don't get confused, this activity is different from the Android activities or fragments. So the name activity, what they mean is like these are like whether the user is in vehicle or whether he's running or walking or is in still mode. This API will like give us some information about it, like whether the user is in those particular activities. So to explain more, the common use case would be something like whether that you have an application that you want to get the user's heart rate if they started running. So this activity will be like useful at the time. So it will let you know that the user is running. That means like he started running. Then you can start your service or whatever the logic you want to perform to get the heart rate. But before this API, what we generally go for is we start like a foreground service or some kind of background service. Services that are like a little bit resource intensive stuff for the Android device. So more resource means like more battery drain. So as promised, this API will like save us from that kind of battery drains. So I think it will be clear if you look at the demo. So let's go. Hey guys, right now we are walking. So you get a notification like a walking state. And let's keep the device on the table and see like what it shows. It should like change to still state. That's the video content. Boom. Okay, let's start working on it, guys. Okay, let's begin coding. So I will like leave a base branch with all the required dependencies. So I'll like show you what dependencies we already have right now. I have Timber, that's for logging, and Notify. It's a pretty good library for notification. You can easily create notifications. Easy permissions for handling permissions easily, and material design because I used a switch layout, a switch material layout. So let's start. Let's look at the documentation first. So in the documentation, they mentioned something about the permissions. So let's handle the permissions first before we dive into the main thing. For permissions, let's go to manifest, and I already have this copy pasted, so you guys can do the same thing. Coming back, the manifest part is done. Now let's look at the switch. That's the radio. Oh, it's not radio, it's like a switch button, my bad. So set on checked listener, and we don't need that. Is checked. Let's see what we can do. So what's the thing? So if it's is checked, usually we request for updates, right? Else remove updates. That's like the most basic thing which we expect. I think it's enough zoomed in. So that's functions. Always like I'm a lazy guy, I use this IDE shortcuts a lot. So we request, we remove. Let's work on the permissions part. So as they have mentioned, if we have like a device which is like more than Q or something, so we have to like ask a permission, like there should be a pop-up like, hey, allow activity recognition or something like that. So we have to work on that. So here, easy permissions. Oh, dang it. comes into the play. This is like a really straightforward library. I'm not going to explain like too much on it because I have like planned to make a video on it soon, but things will be like really straightforward. So what we do is we request for the permission, and after requesting the permission, if it's granted, we will like request for updates. If it's not, then we have to do things accordingly, like we have to like re-request the permission so that this feature should work, right? Okay, so let's make a util. Activity transition util. So we made this util class. So now let's write a function to check permissions. Permission. It requires context, and we use easy permissions library. Has permissions. Control P to get like what it requires, and also it requires manifest. Make sure you take Android permission, activity recognition, and oops, because it requires queue. Let's go back. So before you let the user to request the client for getting updates, you have to make sure that you have permission for Android Q or above devices. That's the reason we have to like check. So let's write one more condition. Build dot version dot SDK, and this is in the documentation, so that's the reason I'm like doing it. And also you have to make sure that the permission is not yet allowed. So we already have a util class, right? If it doesn't have that permission, you have to request for permission, or else you can request for updates. I think this is like pretty clear. Oh wait, oops. And here like we have to like request activity transition permission, right? Request skip it down. Cool. So let's request the permission. So that you guys can clearly see the screen. Let's remove this. And so for requesting permissions, I usually like use activity transition. Sorry, easy permissions library. So we have to like request permissions. That's our thing, and check what we are doing. So it requires an activity, and also we have to like give what do you call a relational text, something like this. Like if the user denies the permission, it will like show one more pop-up, and this is like built inside the library. Something like this, permissions in order to use this feature. So this will like let the user know. I will like show you the flow like when it asks, and it requires a request code. So let's make constants const call activity transition request code something. Cool. and it also require permission, right? Manifest, go for the Android permission, activity recognition, and of course it requires queue. So what's our thing right now? Oh, it's like this. Nice. Now we will like request for permissions. Oh wait, it's already here. Oh my god, there's something wrong with this thing. So we are like requesting permissions if there's no permission, if it's not yet allowed, and we also make sure that this thing is like the UI should, the check should be like set to false because the permission is not yet done. Once the permission is like approved, like allowed, then you can like check it back to true. So let's go for the granted. Like say suppose you get a pop-up and it's already allowed. So let's do the positive condition, like switch activity like is checked to true because they already allowed it. And also after pressing allow, just save the like continue the state. So you have to like request for updates because it goes from here. Once the permission, that dialog box shows, then after pressing allow you have to like request for updates. That's the flow. But if you go to the denied part, like how do you handle denied? We got easy permissions dot some, because it got like permanently, if it is like permanently denied, it also takes care of it, like where to take the user and everything. So if it's like permanently denied, there's like a app settings dialog builder. It takes automatically to the settings, and the user should have to like what do you call, should have to like add the permission, like allow the permission. Oh wait, why did I press this? Boom. But or else request activity transition permission again. So there are two conditions: if it's like permanently denied or if it's not like permanently denied. And of course it asks for Android queue check. But there's also one more thing with the easy permissions. So this is like an override, but most probably if you manually worked on like the permissions part, you have to like write a lot of code, but this is easy permissions will take care of that stuff. So on this override you have to make sure that you're adding on request permission result and pass the same thing. Don't forget this thing. So we made sure that it will ask permission or else it won't like allow. So the permission part is like done. What's next? Wait, let me load my emulator and I'll show it to you. I have to like show this, I wanted to show this to you in a real device, so let me do that. Before like loading, I'll show you. I forgot to like do this because you should get all the callbacks. So let's run the app and I'll show you like how it works. Let's start from the negative. Okay, let's do this, and you requested permission, and if you deny it, see, you get this message, and if you press OK, then you'll get this, and if you press like allow, so it should come to on grant. Yep, see here, and it will check, it will be like check to true. Boom, that's the flow. And once it's like already allowed, it always like goes to the else case. So it comes here because it's already allowed. That's the flow which I want to discuss. So we are good with this part, right? We get this thing. Now let's actually work on the request for updates part, right? So let me open Let me open the documentation. So we have to get the, from here I can see we need to build a request. So we need to have like a request, and also in that request you'll have like a list of transitions. Let's get the client first. This is the client. Can be letting it, so we are good with that part. And let's use this, and we'll create the request like how they have shown in this picture. How about let's copy paste this thing. It's in Java, so I guess it will be converted. Boom. Yeah, that'll list off. I need to make this nullable. Boom. So we're good. So if you see, get transition request, I just copy pasted it and converted it into Kotlin. So if you see, right now the transitions are like, it will let you know if you entered vehicle, if you exit vehicle, if you entered walking, if you exit walking. Let's also add like a few more, like if you enter still, and if you exit still. Running, if you exit running. There's no, I mean, it's just like a builder, so that's the reason I use this util class, so it will look neat. So it's your choice. So in the example, what they've shown is they made like they used client, and they built like a request transition updates. Cool. Client dot request activity transition updates, control P to know what it requires. So we already know, we already have like our util class, and boom, we got it. Now the remaining stuff is like pending intent. So let's make a method for getting a pending intent. So why we need pending intent? Because the API will like give us results, so we can look at those results and process things through pending intent. Like it's in the documentation if you want like more information. I will leave all these things in the description. So what they said is like you can tell the API how to deliver results by using a pending intent. So in my pending intent, like get pending intent, what my plan is, like create an intent. From here I want to get the results in my broadcast receiver, so let's create like a receiver. I'm pretty sure you guys are familiar with the broadcast receiver, so let's name the receiver activity transition receiver and broadcast receiver. So alt enter, that's for like this, and also alt enter just to make sure you need to get the thing added to the manifest, and that's the manifest. Oh wait, here we are. And also make sure, I mean, this will work fine. Just make sure explorer is always false, and permission, add. You can literally copy paste this. So the receiver setup is done. Here you will like, oh, let me clean these things. Okay. So what it does is you're just adding this receiver. So activity transition receiver class of Java, and create a pending intent dot get broadcast copy request context, which is this. So we need like one more request code, so we know what to do. Score for receiver. And it requires intent. It requires flag. The return type will be set. So here, get pending intent. Boom. And also it has a add on success listener. So timber debug success saying request updates. Also add on failure listener timber.d failure request updates. Cool. And what about the removal? It should be fairly simple. Let's check client dot remove activity updates, and it requires a pending intent, the same pending intent, so it'll be fine. So it will remove, and this thing's like already done here, right? So let's focus on the receiver. I guess that's the ending part. Context intent, and we don't need more constants. We got like util. Cool, let me close these things. So what happens is you like receive results here. Let's see the documentation. Okay, they are doing something crazy like this. Let's copy paste. Like that's on receive. Ooh. We already got like a half of stuff, right? So, oh, I don't like force unwrapping, so let I like for each. So what to do with the events, that's the main thing. So my basic plan is to see the info, what you get. So let's get the info, and let's try to print this thing out to the timber, like to logget, so it will be easy. In order to do that, let's make like a helper function so that you can build, you can convert the event types to something readable, and it will be like helpful for you to check like what happened, like what state you are in. So let's do that. I guess it will be much more clear if I do this. Fun to activity string. Oh my god. cool. Ah, I'm zooming in too much. Return when activity. So if detected activity is like a still, return still. Oh my god. Boom, boom, boom. Let's Control D. Walking. Walking. Running. Running. Wait, why did I press this? Still, and of course, else branch. Unknown. So why are we returning? Return. That's for the activity type, because this is the data you get from the result. I mean from the intents. So I'm just converting this to something readable. So to transition type. Transition type int return string return then transition type. So activity transition dot, is it like enter? Yeah. Enter. Oh. Exit. Else. Unknown. So we wrote our helper functions, so it's easy for us to write things now. So what we'll do is like activity, oh wait, activity transition util dot to activity string. So we have access to the intent event, right? So the event property has access to the activity type, and also we'll also like print out like whether it entered or something like that. So it will be like dash activity to, we already have that activity, so get to transition type and event dot transition type. So it will give you a readable logcat. That's like for printing out info. Timber dot t info. Boom. That's for this part. But I want to notify this thing to the notification, so it's easy. So notify is like a library which I told you. Don't get confused. Like if you have your own notification builder, you can use it. But I just want to focus on this API first. That's the reason I'm using this library with context, and it's easy to create notifications through this. So the title will be like activity detected, and the message, the text will be like in the video what I've sent, I can see you, and like what state you are in, right? Activity transition util to activity string, and we have access to the event. So event dot activity type state. That will be like the message. And the last part will be like show, and usually like I did some random 999 or something, because so when there's like a notification, it gets updated to one notification so that it won't like spam multiple notifications. I want it to be like that, but it's your call, like how you want to show. Why this thing is crying? Okay, looks good. So let's run the app. So it's request update success. I guess I have to move. I don't know. Let me move. Let me walk around. I might speed this up in the video. I'm walking now. Uh-oh. I got something. So I'm walking entered. Now I stopped walking. I kept it in still mode. So it's in walking state. Now it's like in still mode, so it should like change to still mode. Boom. So it's working. Yep, that's how this API works. But you can like configure it to many uses. Like if you want to do something with a particular state, you can configure. I used like a broadcast receiver, but in the main activity you can go and you can like change this to get activity or get foreground service or get service. So it depends on you. But there's like one bad thing right now. So if I close this and where's this app? If I open it, it won't remember the state. Did you see that? It won't remember it because we didn't add functionality for the storage. Let's add storage. Yeah, my storage is like shared preferences for now. Preference. This. And I'm adding a quick what's the string? Storage. Something random, guys. Come on. Yeah, I think that will work. Value and apply. That's one. So when we like save the data state here, true, and when you're removing, false, and also make sure it's checked. So preference, no storage, get boolean false by default. So here switch is checked, get radio state, and run the app. Like from now it will remember like the state of the setting. It's pretty fun if you build it. So yeah, that's pretty immediate. And let's go here. Oh, what? Doesn't seem to remember. So it's false. Oh, I forgot to like set it to true. Request for updates, and yeah, that was my bad. Sorry about that. It's pretty late night. So let me close, and so it remember the states. That's it. I will like explain you like why I did this feature. I will like open the app and I will show you like why I did this. Thanks. So one of the reason why I made this video, because there's also one more tutorial slash kind of series is coming up. It's a location tracking app. Like so I want to add this user activity detection functionality here, so that if you're like inside the car, if you start driving the car, it will like automatically starts the trip, and you can like go on and it tracks you. So it's the same thing. If this app can be treated as like both for tracking your car's mileage, or for like a running app or walking app, whatever the functionality you want. But this app like uses life cycle service concept, so it's already there, the life cycle service concept. I've already posted a video, so check it out, and it will be like this. And also check this video so that you'll get familiar with this user activity detection, and it will be like super easy to integrate feature inside this app, so that you will get to know the real usage of this feature, like how you can use this in real-time applications. Follow me on my social media. I will leave my Twitter and Instagram account details over there. I'll be like super active, and please share, like, and subscribe my channel. Love you all. See you all next time.